Our evening will consist. Oh, okay. So I guess we'll start. John, go ahead.
So just taking a moment to just feel into your body and note your posture and what's kind of going on. It's not that you have to do anything with what's going on. It's just to, in a sense, notice what's going on. Whatever kind of feelings or thoughts or memories are inhabiting the moment. And then just taking a moment to acknowledge that we have, it really is a kind of a power to, it's an aspiration, or you could say a wish or intention for practice. For this, in a sense, it's a spiritual endeavor, something we do. You know, it may be just for the benefit of yourself or family or friends or all beings. And once you've kind of acknowledged your aspiration or your intention, then just turn your attention to your heart. So it's just that this is just as we have an intention, we also have this capacity to support as they talk about this as a practice of mind training. But the mind training has a purpose, and the purpose is actually to clear mind, memory, thoughts, and bring that goodness to your heart. Really, just kind of breathing into the heart. And then just taking a moment as you kind of breathe into the heart to bring your attention to your body in this posture. And then this practice of bringing full attention to really it is the simplicity of it is the body mind. And so just attending first just to your feet, and whether you're sitting in a chair or on a bench or pillow, couch, just acknowledge your body sitting there and the capacity to bring some sense of uprightness to your physical posture. And just noting for a moment the kind of there's the lumbar, the curve in the back, and the position of the hands and the arms. And pulling the shoulders back slightly and the chin back slightly. Just acknowledging this capacity to be upright. There's a sense of when you see the posture of, statues of the Buddha, this posture of dignity. They say that, the posture itself is that has to do with of course, first there's intention, but then there's also the mimicking of staying awake. And so there is that posture of staying awake. And then you can bring your attention to your feet. And again, it's just to feel the world of sensation there. There's no right way or wrong way of doing this. There's just the mind, in the sense, including. Usually it's often storytelling and chasing after things and making up things. And this is okay. Let's just see if we can't bring it to the physical world of just the experience of feet, the toes and the upper part of foot, the arch, the heel. And then moving, and we'll just simply move up to the body, the ankles. And then from the ankles to, again, the areas may be strong or maybe feel like they're blank, but the idea is just simply to point the mind to an area and acknowledge whatever it is that is felt in the physical world. So just the calves and the shins of both lower legs. And then bring the attention into the knees. And just whatever's there. And a lot of this is just about, the training is to point the mind and give it an area to hang out in, to kind of note the playing of the elements of earth, air, water, and fire that happen to be what our body is made of. And so there is that capacity to know when there's a sense of fluidity or a sense of contraction or a sense of heat or cold or vibration. And then just from the knees, moving into what we would say is the lower thighs, those muscles above the knee, the large muscles. And just seeing if you can't kind of feel your way into the, in many ways, this is not about a specific, it's more about a generality of noting an area of experience. And then moving up from the knees to the kind of the lower part of the upper legs, and then the kind of the middle or central part of these kind of large muscles. And then moving up into that kind of connects to the torso. And again, more complex in some sense, because there's the kind of those large muscles, but there's also the buttocks on the pillow or chair or couch or bench. And then just acknowledging that the weight of the torso, this word heaviness, the weight of the torso on the buttocks, and just an awareness of that, of the element of the earth element of heaviness, really heaviness and lightness. And then taking a moment, just the lower belly there, to note the rising and falling of the lower belly due to the breathing. And there is the kind of pelvic, where the thighs connect to the body, and the noting of the vertebrae, those first vertebrae in the back, the lumbar. And just feeling the expansion, contraction of the breath in the lower torso. And then just allowing that awareness to move up to what we know is the kind of, I like the word belly, the belly, and kind of this capacity to have a soft belly. And just noting that the central part of the belly, this place where really the hara, the dantian, that place of ground, that place of power. Just noting that. And then from that kind of central place, that kind of large area of the belly, we can bring attention to the fingers, both hands, back of hands, the palms, the thumbs, the wrists. And then feeling your way up through the forearms. Again, this is, it's more general. It's the generality that we can have the mind that's kind of exploring or connected to, without adding or subtracting anything. Just whatever's there is feeling base. Right to the elbows. And from the elbows, returning to the belly. And in this case, kind of the whole belly. There's the belly and the vertebrae in the back. And that rising and falling, that expansion and contraction. And then allowing that knows, or the awareness itself, to move up into this area between the lungs and the stomach. We note the language of diaphragm. And then bringing the attention on up into what we know as the kind of the lower, the lungs, which include the ribs and the back and the vertebrae. And then allowing that attention, there's the expansion and contraction of the lungs, this breathing. And just acknowledging there's the physical heart and the heart center. One is in the center and one is kind of offset. But generally, it's just noting that's the area we're exploring. And it may be mostly just the awareness of the expansion, contraction. And then as we move up into the upper torso, just to bring the attention back to both arms and the elbows. And from there, just feeling your way up through the bicep and triceps of the upper arms. And attending to the experience of the upper chest and the shoulder blades in the back and the pectoral muscles in the front and the breasts. And again, there's something about bringing attention to areas of body without language, which allows them in some ways to just be relaxed, a sense of kind of enoughness. And sometimes we'll feel more tension in places. And the practice is to note the tension, but we're not adding to it. We're actually giving it that tension space, whether it's muscles in the shoulders or the back or the neck. And then feeling into what we know is neck, you know. Again, there's throat, there's the vertebrae, there's the muscles. They work hard to keep the head up. And actually take quite a bit of abuse from particularly with these screens. And then bringing the attention into, this is the head. And first, just acknowledging first this is where 4 of the main sense doors that we experience things through exist. So there is of course, the jaw and the teeth and the lower jaw and that fabulous thing called tongue. It's one of the busiest parts of our body. And then taking a moment just to, first of all, just to feel the air as it moves in and out through the nostrils. And this, of course, is a place where, for many people, it is a place where you can bring full attention to bring some sense of collectedness or concentration. And just to note that as there is in the mouth and the tongue, there's the taste buds, and in the nose and the nostrils and the sinuses, there's the ability to note smell. And then bringing attention up into the eyes. And again, I think sometimes that this practice of kind of noting a body part, there can be a kind of a easing or relaxing around it. And the eyes are a place where a lot of times there's much tension. So the eyes and the temples. And then bringing the attention around to the ears. There's the canals and the eardrums. This whole truly just, they're just sensation, this sensational world of sound, and how it vibrates and how we interpret the vibration, identify the vibration. And then bring the attention into what we know as the kind of gray matter, the brain. Again, actually turning your attention to seeing if you can't bring some, maybe it's some ease or relaxation, or maybe just some gratitude for the busyness. And then bringing the attention from kind of that gray matter, the brain, and the forehead, and bringing attention to the crown of the head. And the idea in practice is just to keep that open. And the fundamental kind of practices and the esoteric parts of Buddhism, it has to do with the crown, the heart center, and the belly. These are all kind of receivers. And our practice is just simply, we don't have to do anything with them. It's just acknowledging them, acknowledging their capacity. And then as we kind of go from the crown, we can hold the whole body, from the crown to the tip of the toes, tip of the fingers. And just noticing that there's something that actually notices all this. There is that's aware. And that we can simply put attention on that awareness. It may, is always in a kind of dualism going through the body as a specific or where or what or a thought or memory or sensation, or always in relationship. But also there's that's knows, that's actually independent on some level. It's in relationship, but it also can be itself, kind of free from the confines of that dualism, and sit in the simplicity of that awareness itself. It's not something we manufacture, it's something that is always present, but is in constant relationship to everything else. And the idea is to just to know the body, to know the thoughts, memories, plans, fantasies, the different emotions or feelings that kind of grab us and clutch us or move us, or but there's also something that knows it. Putting more emphasis on that knowing than in the specifics. Your nature is you will wander off. That's just being in our lives. But the practice is just to soften, bring the attention back. Just sitting in the center of the knowing itself, where a body of different feelings and different thoughts, memories, plans, I don't know, fantasies. This capacity to stay awake. Again, if you find yourself wandering off, you can either just come back to the breath, the body, the awareness itself, or the awareness of thoughts or feelings. The practice is to stay awake and to try to wander off as seldom as possible. So you're just kind of sitting in present moment, and that whatever is there is enough. So there's awareness of sitting here with this body, just noting the mind. And then there's the space around you, in front of you, to each side of you, in front of you, above and below. So this awareness can take in more than itself. The building, maybe the trees or the location. Just sitting with whatever, knowing that there is enough in all of this.